Hey students, today we are going to be doing another upcycling project with craft rolls, toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls, whatever you want to call them. We are going to be making a fairy garden, and this is going to be out of all upcycled material. For this project, you are going to want to have an egg crate. It's not necessary to have an egg crate, but we will be using this as the platform for our fairy garden. And then you can use sticks from outside. I'm using a skewer to use as the stem of my flower. And then of course you will need at least 2 toilet paper roll size craft rolls. This roll will make 6 petals and 2 leaves. For this project, we only need 5 petals and 2 leaves. So you want to make sure that you have an extra one too, just in case you mess up. And it doesn't matter how many flowers you make or what color they are, or how you paint them or color them. I'm going to be using markers and some colored glitter glue. And I also have some fuzzy sticks or pipe cleaners, whatever you would like to call them, and I'm going to be wrapping this around the stick to keep it more sturdy and just have a thicker girth around the flower stem. Then for our next project, after we make the flower, we will be making the fairy house, and we will be making a small size mushroom, and we will be putting these little tea light candles inside of the fairy house. A lot of people use these for camping or just having little lights around their house if they don't like using candles. So you may have one of these around your house, but if you don't, it's not necessary. Today I will be using scissors, hot glue, a glue stick, tape, and again I said I would be using markers and some glitter glue, and I actually am going to be using some whiteout for the spots on the mushroom. And I got these little sequins to put on the fairy house. You can decorate it however you want. You can use construction paper, the extra pieces to make little circles or stars or designs to decorate your fairy house, but whatever you have around your house is what you should use. I don't want you to go out and buy anything or order anything. Everything that I have, I already had at my house, and everything that is being used is either something being upcycled or the sequins and the glitter glue and the tea lights were all bought at the Dollar Tree a while back. I like to get all my craft supplies at the Dollar Tree because they have a lot of really cool stuff. Okay, let's get into this. So I want to make 2 flowers for my fairy garden. I already have one done because I wanted to show you what the finished project looks like, so you have an idea of what you're going to want to put on your flowers and what you're going to want to do as far as the color designs. So for this flower, I chose to make it orange, and then I cut out a piece of package backing and glued a little sequins sparkle on it. Then I used a pipe cleaner fuzzy stick craft piece of fuzz to go around the stem of the flower, and then the petals and the leaves are made from recycled toilet paper rolls, and that is what we're going to make first. So let's get our craft roll, and again, please make sure that if you're using hot glue, scissors, markers, any of the craft supplies that we're using for this project, you need to have a parent present. So if you do not have a parent present, let's pause and go get a parent or someone to help you with this project that is an adult. Alright, so now that you have your adult or parent with you, we are going to take the scissors and cut our petals and our leaves make sure that you don't pinch too hard, otherwise it will start unraveling. And if it does unravel a little bit, you can just glue it back together. So it's not a big deal, but just wanted to give you a warning. So for the petals, they're going to be a little bit thicker than the leaves. So about the size of the width of the tip of your scissors. I'm gonna lightly pinch it and just estimate. And it is okay if it's not even. That actually will be helpful because we will be gluing the petals together. So if there's a side that's thicker, you'll know that's the part you want to put into the middle of the flower. So this is about the size of the petals. And they can be a little bit thicker or thinner, but the thinner they are, the harder they are to work with. So now we're gonna cut a leaf. And the leaf is a little bit thinner, as I said. And I'm gonna already start shaping my leaf how I want it. I'm gonna make it kind of curved a little bit. All leaves look different, so I want my leaves to look different as well. And I'm not gonna curve the flower petals until I have all of them cut out. You want 5 flower petals cut and 2 leaves cut. Now we're going to color them. I already have mine colored. I used markers. For this flower, I used purple and yellow. I just thought that looked really nice together. And then I also used a couple different green colors on the leaves. I did color the insides and the outsides because you will be seeing both. Then what you want to do is to make this shape on the ground, because some of the leaves are going to fit better together and some of the petals are going to fit better together than others. So I arranged mine like this because it seems to be the easiest to glue. I have all my thicker sides on the inside, so I'm going to lay that back down, and I am going to grab this little square that I cut out to be the middle part of my flower. It doesn't have to be a circle, I just wanted mine to be a circle. Alright, I have my circle cut out, and I already glued on the little gem that I wanted in the middle to match my petals. And now we are going to start gluing the petals. I'm going to start with just 2, and I'm going to put the glue right here, just a little tiny bit, and you can use stick glue, Elmer's glue, hot glue. You can even use tape or staples. Get creative with it. Then I'm going to take these 2 pieces and just put them together. Hold them together gently. If you are using hot glue, please be very, very careful, or ask your parent or guardian to do this part for you, because if the glue seeps out, it can burn you, so you just want to be extra careful. From here, you just keep adding petals. So we're just going to add the rest of the petals together by gluing each petal one by one. So the last part to glue is I just got to glue these 2 pieces together. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that last little bit together now to make the flower completely one piece. Alright, so now that our flower is one nice piece, we're going to be adding our middle circle on, or a square or button or whatever you chose to put in the middle of your flower. I chose to use this little cardboard circle with a jewel on it, so I'm going to add a little bit of glue right here in the middle and add that to the very middle of my flower. So just holding that down, trying to make sure that it's nice and secure. So next we're going to move on to making the stem. I colored my stick green, but I'm also adding this fuzzy craft stick or pipe cleaner onto the stick to just make it a little thicker. You don't want to go all the way down to the end because this is how we're going to stick it into our egg carton, and you don't want to go all the way to the top if you're using the pipe cleaner, because this is where we're going to glue our flower on. You want to make sure that you check the measurements of how far down you need to start the pipe cleaner before you start wrapping. And now we're just going to glue the stick right on the back of the middle of the flower. So we lay it down flat with the front of the flower facing down. I am using hot glue for this, but like I stated before, you can use tape, you can use Elmer's glue, you can use all kinds of different things to make your flower come together very nicely. You do not have to have a hot glue gun. After I lay this stick down in the glue, I just add a little extra layer on the back of the flower and on top of the stick to kind of hold it together a little bit better. That way it will be more sturdy. So I have a layer of glue underneath and a layer of glue on top, and if you get these little strings with using hot glue, don't worry, because whenever it dries you can just pull them all off. Okay, now that our flower is glued to our stick, we're going to be adding our leaves. So I want to add 2 leaves, so I'm going to add one on this side and one on this side. So I'll lay the flower down again. And I'm going to put the glue right here on the leaf and just place it up against the stick. Okay, now I'm going in with my second leaf. You don't want to place the leaves too high so that they're hitting the petals, and you don't want to place them too low so that whenever you stick it into your egg carton that it will go in far enough to stick. So, just holding that second leaf on there in place for a few seconds, letting that glue dry. I'm going to place it back down flat so that the glue can finish drying all the way now that we have it set in place. Alright, now our flowers are dry, so we are going to move on to step 2. Step 2 will be turning our egg carton into the base of our fairy garden, and the way we're going to do this is by wrapping construction paper around the egg carton. I'm just going to tape and use stick glue for the bottom to hold the construction paper around the egg carton. And if you do not have construction paper, you can paint the egg carton, or you can just use markers or crowns. Whatever you have in the house will work. And it doesn't have to be green to look like grass. It can be whatever you want it to look like. So I'm just going to add the glue and tape to hold my construction paper down now. Right, so I have all the tape and glue on here. I left the sides open. You can cover those too. It's just whatever you want to do with your fairy garden. The next step is going to be putting our flowers into our fairy garden, and depending on how many you made and what size they are is just going to be dependent on where you put your flowers. So for the second part of this video, I'm going to show you how to make a fairy house and a small little mushroom for your fairy garden. So I'm just placing 2 of the rolls to know how much space I have to put my flowers, and it looks like I have a good amount of space on each side, so I'm going to go ahead and take those off. And now that I know where I want my flowers to go, I'm just going to push my flower into where I want it to go. One in. And if it's a little wobbly and you don't like the wobble, you can add glue or tape to the bottom. I kind of like it a little wobbly, so I'm not going to be adding any glue to the bottom of my flowers. I'm just going to stick the second one in. Right. So now we have our flowers completed and our flower bed bottom completed. If you want to make the fairy house and the little mushrooms and add anything else to this, please watch part 2 of this video. It will be linked below so that you can go directly to the next step of this process. Or if you just want to make a bunch of flowers and stop there, then you can just have yourself a nice little flower garden. But I hope you enjoyed this process. I'm really proud of you, and I hope to see you in the second part of this video where we make our fairy houses and small mushrooms and just add decorations to our fairy garden. So let's head over to part 2.